With the appearance of new different ways to have your desktop come to life with animated versions that can even react to sounds, music, give you sorts of lighting effects, or even double up as a background game, we have all sorts of options to personalize our desktop in ways that we didn't have a few years back. But for some of us, this type of animated desktop might be a bit over the top. What are we left with if we do not want to have a paid version like this example I just gave, which is a wallpaper engine, can be found on Steam, by the way. Uh, what are you left to? I mean, you might want a bit of a more detailed background on your PC, on your desktop, but then again, we don't really look at it much, unless you have a second monitor or you have your PC doing something in the background and you just want it to look nice and match up with the rest of your build if you have, for example, RGB lighting going on and all that sort of stuff. Now, I have not used Wallpaper Engine much, but I have used another alternative for several years now, which is also highly customizable and has a lot of different presets and things that you can download and plugins that help keep your PC a bit more fancy, let's say. It's Rainmeter I'm talking about. This is a very small app. It's barely a few megabytes in size, but it lets you customize your screen in ways that just are not possible with the normal Windows personalization options. Now, it is free, which is a big bonus. Unlike Wallpaper Engine, which costs $3.99 on Steam, this one is completely free. So if you are just trying to fiddle around with it, have some fun, this is a perfect option for you because what is there to lose? Now, like I said, there are several presets to get to download that are basically done for you and just drag them in place. I have used mine for a few years now before I actually redid my PC now with the upgrade, with a clean installation of Windows. So I will have to do it again. And I will take this opportunity to show you some of the possibilities in Rainmeter, what you can do with it, and what you can make your desktop look like. Now, for starters, it is pretty straightforward. You can just go to the website, rainmeter.net. I have not been in this website for a while, but it does give you a lot of tutorials, how to do it, basic tutorials, customization, how to use it. So let us start with setting up, for example. You see here the requirements, pretty straightforward, Windows 7, everyone probably has it these days in their personal computer. And yeah, you can literally just come here, you download Rainmeter, it sends you back to the first page actually. But I would recommend getting the retail version as opposed to the beta version because there can always be issues with beta. Rather get the stable installation. So yeah, as you can see, 2.3 megabytes, completely free, simple, no sign up, no nothing. You just get your program and you go. Once the program is downloaded, it should take a whooping couple of seconds. Let us install it. I'll run you through the installation, which is pretty easy. Standard installation, since you're probably on a desktop or laptop like I am, in this case desktop. And yeah, you can just install it. You need to put it to launch and startup, otherwise your computer will start up. And if you are using a skin like this, you probably will have hidden like start menu, all that stuff that you have in the background. You probably hid it to make it look nicer. And if Rainmeter doesn't launch, then you don't have anything on the start in the desktop when you start up. So you definitely want to put it starting when the computer boots. Quick installation, run, and here it is. This is only the very basic overlay, obviously. Now the customization starts. This is the part where things get a bit iffy. That unlike Wallpaper Engine, when from the actual Wallpaper Engine program, you could browse kind of a list of uploaded skins and skins that are there ready to use and basically done and ready. Here, it's not so simple. You have the program, and there are forums, including their own community forums that you can access here, where people share their skins and skins they've created. And yes, you could also create your own skin from scratch, but that does take some knowledge and some getting into the program and how it works, a little bit of coding as well. So yeah, if you want to do integrated things, like for example, you can have your desktop dynamically display like network usage, hard drive space, CPU load, temperatures, you name it. You could make your actual desktop background, display all that information dynamically so that you can also keep an eye on things. If you have, for example, a second monitor that's just hanging there, you could have it just display there without having to have another program open to monitor all that sort of stuff or Windows opens. So there is that thing. And if you want to do integration like that, you do need a certain amount of knowledge to make the skins and to make them display all that stuff. So my suggestion is, and although it might not be as straightforward as some other programs, if you click on Discovery at the top, you have a list of places where you can possibly find Rainmeter skins with previews. Now there's all of these different things. I will give a go to DeviantArt, which I have used in the past, and mind you, this is a few years earlier, and it does have a nice amount of variety of pre-done skins. Now let us click here on the link to the gallery, and let us see what they have to offer. From the get-go, they have several categories for plugins, works in progress, example screenshots, but let's start, for example, with skins. Uh, if you click on skins, you will have a list of different skins that people have developed for Rainmeter and how you can expect them to look like. Now, some of them might be for some specific resolution, but usually they are adjustable, and you can move at each individual piece to whatever side you want. Now, picking one that looks a bit more finished and more elaborate, for example, let us go, for example, to this one. As you can see, it has a lot of information displayed just on your background, from core load to temperatures, clock speeds, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to keep track of your hardware easily, everything in one place, this is a very good way to do it. It's visually appealing, at least more than just a table with numbers. And you can have this as your background on your second monitor. Let's see. It usually has installation notes and what you can do. It's created for this resolution, blah, blah, blah. So it has a lot of information. It usually is very detailed in what you have to do and how to get it done. Now, bear in mind, these are fan creations. There can always be issues, and I don't mean issues like making your PC malfunction or destroying your hardware or anything like that. I mean issues as in getting it to actually work as it should and getting it to display the things. As you can see here in the comments, GPU core speed not detected. Then you have to go look for a fix. So yeah, it's not completely smooth. I will admit it, but it does offer a very, very high degree of customization and things you can get. For example, here on the skin that I showed you as an example, if you want some, for example, a counter for, let's say, hard drive space, you could literally get another plugin from another person and add it to this skin, or you could change it to look like one of these thingies if you wanted, and if you really look into how to. But like I said, this is more of a technical endeavor that you need to look into how to do it. And once you actually figure it out, it's not too difficult. I did it in the past with the skin I was using before. So if you like to experiment, this is a very interesting program. This is another example of a skin. This one I actually have used in the past when I first installed Rainmeter back a long, long time ago. As you can see, the screenshot is already quite old. And yeah, you can add widgets for everything on the back of your background. RAM usage, CPU usage, recycling bin, not that important, but it's a matter of preference. It's whatever you want it to show, really. You can synchronize it with your email to see if you have emails and how full your box is. Temperatures and stuff for, weather related forecasts, GPU temperature, you name it. And here, for example, a few little buttons at the bottom that you can just click and open whatever you add to those buttons, whatever you assign them to. And you can also add more buttons or take buttons away. And it looks a lot better than having an icon on your desktop. It's a lot more subtle. You might not like the aesthetics of this particular one, or you might love it, but very it's very, very easy to find something that you like because there's dozens and dozens of them out there. So there is bound to be something that you love. Like, let's see, are you more into the tech kind of look? Then yeah, here you go. Do you want like a sort of starship briefing room? There it is, with a little player, music player as well, processes in the background. What else do we have here? I'm just going from one to the next in the featured, but yeah, there is a massive number of stuff. Like some of them look less smooth, like for example the icons here. They don't really blend well, but you could set them to overlay like a little bit of transparency or something, and it would be fine. You could literally open this icon JPEGs or whatever format they use on the editor like Photoshop, color them whatever color matches the background with a bit of transparency as well, and bam, there you go. You shove them there. Yeah, here's another one. There's a lot of different options with a different levels of, let's say, complexity and perfection and design. But you are bound to find something that you like. There's also more nature theme things, game theme with a specific theme in mind. So there is something for everyone. Now I'll look for one that I actually like, and I will show you the installation process a little bit. Now I've decided to just install this one for viewing purposes, and I will actually not use it myself, because a lot of the ones I was looking have a lot of other plugins that need to be installed. Some of them might require like, specific button dock things to be installed, and I did not want to overcomplicate it. So I'll go with a simple, easy one, so you can just see how it is done in principle. And if you want to find a more elaborate one, you can always look at the notes that the creators have placed with it, and you know you can basically figure it out. So you go here, you download it. Basically, it's pretty simple. Save file, and then you can go here. I believe you can just open it. Yes, you can literally just open the file, and it will add that information to your Rainmeter. At this point, Rainmeter should be running because you have installed it, and it is here in the background. You can double click it or something, or you can, let us see if I seem to remember, hexagon layout. I believe this is the one. Let us go back. Yeah, here it is. Now it is already doing some information by default. It is giving me already my CPU loads, my CPU, well, speed at this point. It's not really being stressed, to be honest. So it is already working somewhat. Now, to get the rest working, you would need to actually check what the creator has done, and yeah, see what he says about each specific thing. You can see here there are a number of changes that need to be done. For example, the wallpaper. Where can you find the wallpaper? You mentioned several times it's in resources/background, resource/variables, blah, blah, blah. So what you do is you go here on Rainmeter, skins, you pick the one that this is, which is hexagon, and well, you can just open folder, hexagon, and then here you have it, like add resources here. So here you have the background. You just, as usual, set desktop background, and as you can see, now it matches a little bit more. For the rest, let us see what exactly else is necessary. Uh, well, you can. This is a bit of a troubleshooting thing. I would have to download HW Info plugin to get the temperatures working, because as you can see, the temperatures are not really working, and I use HW Monitor as opposed to HW Info. But it is not the most straightforward installation process. But as you can see, it does work. Some of the components work right out of the box, which is nice. Like for example, the load, like I said, this works. This works. Name of the computer works. Download and upload speed are working. GPU load and memory and temperature are not working because HWinfo is not installed on my PC. So yeah, a lot of it works out of the box, a part of it doesn't, but it's good enough to get an idea of what to do. This goes not only for this skin, but for any skin on Rainmeter. It's fully customizable. You can do everything you want with it. The only limitation is how far do you want to go in digging through the files and modifying things to do what you want to do. because there is no easy UI to do it. You have to go with the settings files on each individual plugin. You actually have to go and edit each file as like this, which is not super handy, but it's nice that it's possible. Now, granted, this wasn't the most smooth video in terms of showing you a finished result of customizing and all that sort of thing, but I did find this photo of the desktop that I built a couple years back. This is an example of what you can do with a reasonable minimalistic setting on your Rainmeter, and it's not very difficult to do. This is what I ended up with, and I just did not want to redo it now because I will probably switching to Wallpaper Engine for the ease of use. If you want to switch around every once in a while, it is a lot easier than having to set all the Rainmeter things one by one. Although, on the other hand, Rainmeter allows for, as far as I know, because I have not checked Wallpaper Engine yet, allows for a higher degree of customization, I believe. But I will also do a video on Wallpaper Engine when I get around to installing it and reviewing it a little bit. It's also worth saying that you don't necessarily have to have a whole modded background. If you are literally only interested in having a couple of meters for, let's say, uh, core temperatures, GPU fan speed, GPU temperatures, uh, processor load, anything like that, you could literally download the skin, turn off every other part of it that you do not need, and have only those meters displayed like on the corner of your screen or wherever you want. So a very minimalistic approach is also possible, and it's in a way it's even easier to do than the whole thing. You just literally right click the things you want and you hide them or disable or turn them off or something like that. So it's also very possible to have a very simple but effective approach to having a custom desktop. Could also happen that you would have to change something in the actual settings of one of the plugins, let's call them, of the mod. Well, yeah, I'm not sure how to call it. It's a mod, it's a modification. Anyway, I have also noticed that my webcam thing was probably blocking your view, so you did not really see what I was clicking when I told you to open plugin. So yeah, it is here. This little raindrop. This is Rainmeter. So this is where you would go to open the folder. But in any case, if you need to do a change in the actual settings on one of the parts for some reason, like add another disk because you have more than one disk or more than two disks or something, you could literally go here, edit, and you have some notes on each file about how to add more disks, for example, or how to do this, how to do that. And you literally just have to go here and follow the instructions and add the things that you need to add to make it work for you. So this isn't exactly the most newbie user friendly, but it is very yeah, very versatile in what you can do. But you do have to have a bit of an exploring urge in you to actually go there and make it work, as opposed to it just working perfectly right out of the box. But I'm pretty sure that you already got the idea from the rest of the video that it is not really a plug and play kind of thing, and that it is more of a let's fiddle with it kind of program. On the other hand, if you like to explore and try new things, it's a real nice program. It's free. Uh, it's pretty simple to navigate once you actually get into it. I had not touched it actually in a good 2-3 years, and it kind of was coming back to me already while I was fiddling with it. And if I really wanted, I probably could have done a better job of making a nice background. But I actually did not find one that I like right now. So I guess my tastes might have changed throughout the years a bit. I'll have to dig into it a little bit better and find something that is more fitting for me. Now, this has been Attic PC Guy. I hope you have some use for Rainmeter. Again, it's free, so why not? And yeah, have fun designing your background because it can be nice to have something unique and that suits your needs. Even if it's behind a browser window or a game most of the time, can be handy for time to time or for a second screen. Plus, as gamers and enthusiasts, we all like to have our own thing going on with our own style. So have fun.